Eric, welcome and take it over.
Thank you so much, Lyle. Big round of applause for Lyle kicking us off and for that introduction. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And one thing that Lyle did not mention is we do have a surprise for everybody on the call. We are going to do some impromptu speaking to kick things off. So I need a first victim, volunteer, to do some impromptu, a quick 5 to 7 minute speech. It won't be painful at all. No. It is great to be here. That is one of the things that we do offer in Toastmasters is impromptu speaking. So I just wanted to give everyone a quick insight as to what we do. But thank you again for having me. I'm going to talk about Toastmasters International, a little bit about my journey and how this alliance can help both our organizations and us as individuals. Now, you will not find a greater advocate for Toastmasters International than yours truly. For what it has done for me on a personal and a professional level is off the charts. I'll explain that in just a little bit. But I will say this, that you people at Rotary are unbelievably inspiring. Some of the things that you have done, it blows my mind. I was doing some research on your website. I had a chance to talk to a few Rotarians. I want to applaud each and every one in your organization for changing the world in a positive fashion. It is truly exciting to be a part of this alliance. And as a father of 3, not only are you helping the current generation, but generations to come. So thank you so much. A little bit of a backstory as to my affiliation with Rotary. I mentioned on the last call that I had a chance to speak to the Rotaries at one of your events back in 2019. It was in Fort Wayne at the Grand Wayne. And when I walked in those front doors of the Grand Wayne Convention Center, I understood 2 things. Number one, that yes, we are 2 different organizations, but we share the same beating heart. We both have a desire to serve others and to create lasting change for those in our community and around the world. So it's very exciting, once again, to be a part of that change. So I'm going to talk a little bit about Toastmasters. I know there's a more in-depth presentation that will go, again, into more of the details, but we are an organization that is almost 100 years old. We're at 97 years and counting. We have well over a few 100,000 members. I believe it's almost 150 countries now, and we're continuing to grow by leaps and bounds. One of the things that I do know about Toastmasters is when people get involved, change happens. And for me, and I'll speak humbly for myself, if we want to change the world, the first step is to change ourselves. And I believe Toastmasters brings that to the table. If we want to grow our impact, we first have to grow our influence. And that can be done by becoming a better leader, a better communicator, and a better public speaker. These are the things that people develop by going through the Toastmasters program. Now, Lyle mentioned that I had the honor of being a 2-time finalist in the World Championship of Public Speaking. Thank you, Lyle, for sharing that. But as some people on the call know, I did not start out that way. So my quick story with Toastmasters is I was attending a Chamber of Commerce meeting and everyone had a chance to stand and talk about the product or service they represented. And afterward, a woman approached me and she said, "Eric, have you ever heard of Toastmasters?" Now, like a lot of people on this call, I had, but personally, I didn't give it much thought. She said, "It really puts the icing on the cake when it comes to your public speaking." You know, I'm here to share with you, that's her nice way of saying to me, you need help. And I did. So what Toastmasters has done for me, and you might find some parallels in your journey, is it has allowed me to open up my own communication leadership business. By being a 2-time finalist in the World Championship of Public Speaking, my visibility has grown. It's given me a platform to share my message, not only on a community level, but around the world. But the biggest thing, and this is what's so exciting, it has allowed me to expand my impact and my influence to create more positive change. And I know that I can do the same, not only for current Toastmasters, but for Rotarians as well. So you may be thinking, okay, as a Rotary, what specifically makes this a reality? Well, what are the specific skills? Well, the first thing is, and Lyle touched on it, the evaluations. A good friend of mine is the 2001 world champion of public speaking, Darren LaCroix, and he states it the best way possible, which is great speeches aren't written, they are rewritten. And at every Toastmasters meeting, you're going to have the opportunity to deliver a speech and get immediate feedback to make that speech even better. Now, why is that so important? Well, because the spoken word, in my opinion, is one of the most valuable skills that you can have. I used to teach at Lake Forest Graduate School of Management. I taught there for 6 years, and I had in my classroom some of the best minds in Lake and Cook County, from a business standpoint. They had great ideas, but the challenge they had was, how are they going to share those ideas? How are they going to find their voice? And one of the things that we allow people to find their voice, and this is where it can build both Rotary and Toastmasters, is through the effective use of storytelling. Storytelling is the currency of the 21st century. It builds businesses, it builds brands, it builds movements. It attracts people to your organization. And it's not just storytelling when it comes to the Rotary and Toastmasters organization, but it's also, are you telling the story of the people that don't have a voice? See, with the power of the spoken word, we now can be the voice for the voiceless. We can give hope to the hopeless. That all happens at a Toastmasters meeting. So I want to end with this one more thing. When it comes to what we're doing right here in this meeting, or what you're doing as Rotarians out in the community, by creating that lasting change, by what we're doing in Toastmasters, by developing communication and leadership ability, it comes down to connection. And the better that we can connect people to our cause, the better that we can connect people to our message, the better we can connect people to ourselves, the greater they will accept our vision, which in turn will have greater action, which, as we all know, action is the catalyst for change. So I'm going to end with this. Mark Twain, in my opinion, hits it right on the head when he states that you can take away all of my skills and you leave me with one. I choose the gift of speech, because with that gift, I can then acquire all my other skills that I lost and then some, and use that to build the Toastmasters and the Rotary organization and our alliance. Lyle, thank you. Back to you.